It's a pleasure to be with all of you today, because one of the greatest things in the world is what I call connection, or to understand that we are really not separated. We are not separated. People think we're separated. I mean, we look separated, but people are out there and they don't want to feel separated. So maybe it's time for us to connect with them, to get on our telephones, to pick the phone up and make a call. So I'm going to talk about that. I want you to call your past customers. I want you to call your business associates, people you've done business with over the years. And I want you to call your clients. If you need to let go of something before you can call them, do that. Because I always say, let everybody off the hook, because the people, the customers, the clients, the upsets that you're holding in any condition, in any place, anywhere, any place is holding you. You're not holding it really. It's holding you. So let's talk about calling them up, using the phone, speaking to people in person, and know what to say and how to say it. So build your business, but let's do it personally. That's the best way to do it. Personally. And that's what we're going to do starting right now. So I say calling all customers and clients. Now, Louie and I, that's my hat, and that is Louie the llama. Louie is our mascot, and we take him everywhere we go, and there are people who dearly love him. And right now, he's going to give you some thoughts of his own as we go along on this process. So what we want you to do is get a pencil, take some notes, because we are going to have a journey here over the next 30, 40, 50 minutes, depending on how much I talk. I'm not having interaction today because we have people from so many different worlds. Some of them are our clients that we know, and others are people that don't know us. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction before I begin, because we have companies aboard who are on my list there, and I don't recognize the companies. So just remember this: timing is not everything. You know, people say timing is everything. No, it isn't. But it's very important. What's really everything is the connection, the personal feeling that people get from you. And to remember this about your business: separation is not good for business. Separation is not good for business. Emails, spam mails, et cetera, they don't work anymore. I mean, I don't know about you, but I get about 1,000 emails a day. And what happens when I get all those emails is I disregard most of them. The ones that I pay attention to are the ones that I recognize, or the ones that I think would be good for my business. So I don't pay attention to the millions of people who all say, oh, they were just looking at something. It's just not true, and I know it because I do my own. Well, of course, I make mine way more personal, but people don't do that very often now. They think they should connect with people by sending out 10 million emails, which they can do easily with all these wonderful pieces of software. Now, that doesn't mean it's wrong to do that. It just means don't count on it. Now, Sally and I, by the way, are a mother and daughter team, and we are experts in the area of retention. Absolute experts in this field. We started out with, I guess our first one was Discover Card. And then that was a long, long time ago. But we took their numbers from 3% to 12% to 37%. And on the outbound, we went up to as high as 60% save rate. Now, we think the reason we did so well on the outbound was because they wanted their card back. We didn't disconnect them. Even though they said their card was canceled, all of the stuff was still in the computers. So when we called them back, it was very easy to get them back with us. But the big number was in the 30s and 40s. And during that time, 1982, I wrote the first script for Discover Card right after my book came out. And they said, what's the matter with this script? This is weird. This script is weird. We can't say that. And I said, well, the script you have, you see, isn't working now. We have a rule, never make people wrong or stupid. So it's pretty hard when they are wrong. and you have to correct them. So I learned the LAMA technique, or I know the LAMA technique. I actually created our LAMA technique, and I was able to convince them that what they needed was training, and we'll write the script as a secondary thing. And when I went to IBM in Atlanta, that was amazing. They handed me 83 pages of scripting for one of their phone calls, and I turned it into 6 questions. And of course, they couldn't get over it. How could you do that in 6 questions when it takes us 83? And I told them, I said, well, give me the phone. And I gave them an example of how I could do it. And we got about a $40,000 job with IBM all over their call centers, and it was a really wonderful job. And of course, anybody who wants to know more about me and our books, just go there. All right, so before we get started, the real thing that I want you to get is, if we tell the truth really does set us free. It opens our minds, it opens our hearts, it opens our brains, it opens us up to what we want. And so an easy way to explain that, and over the years I've tried to explain it, it takes me hours and hours to explain this, but here's what I want you to get. And if you could pay really close attention to this, you will see that I am absolutely accurate, and that you could look and see this is true for you and for everyone. And that is, what you see in the world, your numbers, your success, your place of business, your city, your town, your friends, your lovers, your husbands, your spouses, your children, what you see, that which you're looking at with your eyes, that is what you got. In other words, that's all been done already. It's over. It's over. What you see is what you already got. Now, in order to have your life work better, in order to have your goals be bigger, more exciting, more thrilling, more fulfilling, then you have to realize it's what you think about that you are going to get. It is what you think about. It's what you are going to get. So in other words, if you fear failure, it will come upon you. All the mystics, all the great writers, Emerson and Socrates, and you name them, they all said this in one way or the other. What you fear will come upon you. Now, why would that be? It would only be because that's what you're thinking about. So in this time right now of crisis in America, right? It's crisis in America. In fact, all over the world, but we're going to concentrate on America today. What we want to see is that what we think about is the possibility. What we already have, we can't fix, can we? We cannot fix what already is. What we can do, though, is open our mind up and think better thoughts. And for those of you who've taken my training, you know I always teach in every class, whatever you resist will persist. Whatever you resist will persist. So what we want to do is be smart, for instance, about this COVID-19. We want to do what it takes to get better. We want to do what it takes to find a cure. We want to do what it takes to fix things about it, but not look back in a blaming mode, because that won't be good use of our mind. And then we'll just be resisting the people that we blame for this. And that will waste our time. And our customers are going through a lot of bad experiences. They are. Our clients are having a tough time. Now, you know that what we teach is the universe always says yes. Our life is about IRDS, which I'll explain in a minute. But the most important thing is that we are the leaders in our companies. We are the ones who show, demonstrate, give people an example. And the only way we can do that is by telling the truth to ourselves. So look at what you're thinking. I can't tell you the whole story today. I don't have time for it. But if you ever want to see it, we do have a link that's on the internet that Sally told this story online, and this really beautiful little video. And in it, she talks about the fact that my girlfriend Sandy once said to me, why don't you just think about what you're thinking about? And it changed my life. She said, why don't you think about what you're thinking about? Just spend a whole day observing and noticing, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Are you just on automatic? Are you on rails? Are you just thinking what you thought yesterday? If you're just thinking what you thought yesterday, look what you see. What you see is what you got. But if you could think newly, you know, my mother used to say, I'm writing a book right now. Well, I was going to call it, if you think you're so smart, you've got another think coming. I changed it to, please proceed to the highlighted route. But my mother said that, and I thought that was danger, danger. You know, that was a bad thing. But the truth is this. We do think we have the capability of thinking new thoughts, of thinking positive thoughts, of saying things in a new way. We have all those possibilities. But if we're stuck in looking to see what did we get so far, and we're concentrating on that, we are not thinking new thoughts. So I'm going to say that before I get to the practical stuff, okay? That I want you to notice what you're thinking. Pay attention. There's that great song in Sister Act 2, I think it is. If you want to go somewhere, if you want to be somebody, you've got to pay attention. So I want you to pay attention to what are you thinking. Now today I'm going to open up your mind, I hope, to think a few new thoughts. All right? So the number one thing that I want you to realize and to think about with regard to your customer, the number one thing is, here's the rule. Always give the customer the information the customer needs to make a decision. Now, I want you to really look at that and see how important it is. Always give the customer the information the customer needs to make a decision. In other words, never hedge on your bets. Never have hidden fees or a hidden agenda, because it will be felt by your customer. And like Louis says, you don't want your customer to have that face. No, you don't. Well, why is that the rule? Well, sincerity is connection. In other words, if we are sincere, if we are authentic, and everybody's talking about organic and authentic. Well, how do you do that? It's very, very easy. You just tell the truth. You have sincerity, and it makes a connection to people. Sincerity really makes a connection. Everyone wants to communicate with everyone else. That is why right now is the perfect time to go on your telephone, pick it up, talk to your customer. Communication is a function of intention. What is your intention? And if your intention is to be sincere, if your intention is, we want you back, hey, they'll get that. They will get that. And remember, if you can do this perfectly sincerely, it's less risky. It's more polite. And you're telling the truth. We want you back. We really want you back. Well, one of the things that in our courses we teach, in our training, we call it IRDS. You don't see that in the training room. We don't put that up on the board. But our training is about IRDS. You could write this down. Intention. That's the first thing. What is our intention? What do we mean? Is our intention to get business? Or is it our intention to make the customer right and smart to do business with us? That would be smarter, wouldn't it? Well, our intention is to create a safe environment for our customers so they always feel safe and trust us, actually, because we are trustworthy. But they don't know that at the beginning. So that's why you never want to make your customer feel wrong or stupid. You don't want to make the customer feel like you're more clever than they are or smarter than they are, not ever. So I stands for intention, R stands for relationship, and in a relationship, you cannot really have a connection. You will be separated from other people if you do not create a safe environment for them. So let's talk today about how are we going to open our conversation with that past customer, that past client. How will we discipline ourselves? How will we make sure we say the things that we really mean? Just because you have a goal that you want to get them back does not mean that you can't make them feel safe to come back. So intention, relationship, discipline, and skill. We're not teaching the LAMA today, but I hope you will see some of it in this program. You'll be able to see it as you look at it. So next, obviously, we're going to dial out to the customer. Now, it's very important, very, 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 very important. So pay attention right now to this. This is the wrong way to open a call to a past customer. Now, I always use Jack. I just love the name Jack. You know, Jack Reacher, Jack everybody. I mean, everybody named Jack seems to be good. In every movie, I've always liked the name Jack. So, hello, Jack. This is Judy from McKeeConsulting, or another shortened version. I might say this is Judy from McKeeConsulting, or any other shorter version, because they imply that the customer knows you and it may make them uncomfortable. This is Judy calling from the Train the Call Center place. Yeah, and you just move on. You know, you move on to the telephone call. You move on to your opener. Do not give them a shortened version. Do not give them an opener that implies they ought to remember you. Hi, this is Judy. I haven't talked to you in a long time. So what? They don't remember you, right? Old styles don't work anymore. And it's too risky. It implies when you give them only one name and maybe an initial of your company. They call me all the time like that at home now, at my office. My office is in my home. And they'll call me and say, this is Jake from LDM. I want to say, so what? One day I embarrassed this kid because he sounded so sweet too, that I went back and I picked up my error and I made a nice connection with him. But he opened up with, his name was Angelo. His name was Angelo, and then he named his company. And I went, Angelo. And I just said, okay. Now, he didn't know what to do with that. And then he's blobbering for a minute, you know, blithering. Blah, blah, blah. He's trying to think of what to say now because I didn't take over. And I didn't say, what is the purpose of your call? Or something like that. In other words, he didn't know what to do, but he acted like he knew me, and he used a tone in his voice that acted like his company was known to me, and neither was true, so therefore I didn't trust him. And you never want to do that. And of course, we always have this rule, always, always, always. I'm going to give you some things never to open your phone call with. Then I'm going to show you how to open it properly. All right? So you never open your call with, how are you today? Even though now they've been your client in the past, it doesn't matter. If they have been your client in the past, that's great. And you still don't want to act like you know them if you don't personally know them. So the rule is never say, how are you, to a stranger, because otherwise they'll be looking like that girl and be going, what? Who is this? And when they feel wrong or when they feel stupid, you've lost it. You've already lost the call. You're going to have to dig out. Here's a couple of more you do not want to do. How's it going? Well, this person look at that face. She doesn't know what to do about that question. How you doing? That's another one. I was watching television the other night, and the guy said to the girl, what did he say on your text? And she looked at him with the big eyes and went, he said, sup. Sup. Like she was all excited that he said, sup. Anyway, we're professionals now. We don't want to do that. We don't want to ask questions that do not work. We don't want to ask questions that cause our customer to think that we are familiar. You know, I always say familiarity breeds contempt. All right? Who's calling? Are you guys okay? See, you don't want to say that. And you don't want to say something like, we haven't heard from you. What is that? Is that an accusation? We haven't heard from you? It's not their job. It's your job. Let's get the jobs lined up for the right people in the right way at the right time. All right, so we're going to avoid, how are you today? How's it going? How you doing? Are you guys all okay? We were just wondering how you are. We haven't heard from you. What? We haven't heard from you, as if it's their responsibility. It's always better to err on the side of you being wrong than they should ever be wrong or be uncomfortable. Haven't you ever gone to a party where someone walks up to you and they act like they know you, and then you feel bad because you can't remember their name and where you met them? Or else you see somebody who you recognize the voice, or you recognize them, but they're in a different environment, so you don't put it together. They put it together, but you didn't. That's embarrassing. Now, that's in a social event, so it's probably not going to cost you money. But I'm telling you right now, if you do it on the phone with your client or your customer and you don't know the person, what happens is your customer dumps you. Now, they don't tell you why. They don't explain this to you. But I'm telling you from my 40 years on the phones and testing everything, that this is what really happens. They had a moment where they were uncomfortable, where they felt maybe they were stupid. Maybe they ought to remember who you are, so they are wrong. Or they're losing it, they're getting old, so they forgot something and they are embarrassed. All of those things cost you money at your company. What you have to remember is that you can always dig out in case you make a mistake. But they are not going to dig out. They're going to dump you. They are. And you're not going to know why. That second call back, when you go to call back, that's what happens on a callback. People don't realize that they killed it on the first call. The person got rid of them. The customer got rid of them by setting up a second call. And then they call the second call and they cannot get through. That's only one reason, and one reason only. The customer felt wrong or stupid or conned or ignorant or embarrassed or bad in some way. So they don't want to talk to you now. But they don't give you a list of what you did wrong. They'll probably make you wrong in some way, but they won't be telling you about it. They don't care about your business. They only care about their feelings, and right now they feel wrong or stupid. And you must never do that, all right? You must never do that. So we're going to not even take the risk. We're going to say things that work really well, okay? So Louis wants you to know, though, there are a few exceptions, all right? The rule is never say, how are you, to a stranger, never, okay? Never. Never say, how are you, to a stranger, because it's a lie. With a stranger, you do not know them, so therefore you really don't care how they are. I know you're going to say, oh, no, we love our customers, we care. No, it's not a question that you get to make up your mind about. The truth is, when you don't know someone and you act familiar, when you do not know them, it's too intimate and it makes the other person uncomfortable, and you really don't care about that person individually. There was a great cartoon in the Sunday paper once about 20 years ago. I saved it somewhere and now I can't find it. But it was like the woman answered the phone and the telemarketer said, "Hi, my name is Mary and how are you today?" And the woman in the cartoon, for the next 4 boxes of the cartoon box, told him everything that was going on with her. And finally, the agent clicked off. And then she said in the last box of the cartoon, she says, "Oh, sometimes I just love telemarketers. I feel so good. I'm able to tell them everything." Well, here's the thing. If you do know them, if you're friends with them, if you are old customers or clients, if they're people who will never forget who you are, and you are familiar with them you really do know them, then you may say something like this. It's been so long. And according to my notes, we haven't talked since, 2020 or 2018, something like that. And then your question is going to be like this. How are you? Or how are you and the whole company today? I had this experience myself on the phone today with Marianne from Air Gas Safety because I know her. I connect with her at least once or twice a year. And so I know her. So I don't just say, how are you in a phony way. I really mean it. And she knows I mean it. Your customers know the difference between what's phony and what is not. So how's it going? They're in Florida. We have clients with Dental Services Group in Florida. So if they come online or if I get to call them, I'm going to say, how are things in Florida? I haven't heard about Florida lately. Or if they're in a city like New York, or downtown LA. Now, right out here where I live in Glendale, we're so safe. It's amazing. But if it were my client and they were downtown, I might say, it's been really tough downtown LA. Are all of you okay? See, then it's okay because I mean it. Look at how I'm setting each one up. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So we are wondering how you are since you are in New York. Personalize it. Make it about them, not about you. Make it about them. We haven't heard from you in a long time, and we know it's been going on in New York. Is everything okay with you? So I set up that question that I said before, don't ask it. Well, now I'm saying ask it to the people that you do know. Ask it of the people that you love, that you've done business with, that you're certain they will recognize you. And you can tell the truth. We want so much to connect with all of our customers. What if you didn't know them, but they were your customer, but you didn't personally know them? Then you could say, Judy, personally, I've never gotten to speak to you on the telephone, but we want to connect with all of our customers. And we're calling everybody today to see how they are doing. And how is your company doing over there in Ohio? You see, because here's what I did there. I set it up. I told the truth that I didn't know that person personally, but I knew that the company was talking with us. If you could say it that way, it will make a personal connection that people really want to have. And you are still, again, going back to that what I said before, you're telling the truth. So you can be polite. You can say, hello, Jack, you may or may not remember me, but we spoke last year. Now, I have a lot of clients like that. People who call us to find out what we do, and either we didn't do what they wanted or they were referred by somebody else and they were too embarrassed to not call, but they weren't really looking for training. So they might say something. We might say something to them. They're in our database. I've got 1,500 people who've called us over the years in our database. And maybe I'll clean up my database at the same time. But I'm calling them because we're at home right now. We have one major client that we still have that we go coach online. So we go online with them. That's fascinating. It's never as good as being there in person, but we still go online and we can hear their phone call and we can coach them, right? Online over the phone. I mean, it's amazing. The only requirement we have that they have to have a camera because we want to look in their eyes. Yes. So you can see that here I would open this one with, hello, Jack. You may or may not remember me, but we spoke last year at the PACE convention or at the SOCAP convention. Do you have a minute? Now, by the way, it works for conventions and online seminars too. If they say, no, it's okay, I'll call you at another time. We're just checking in with everybody that we met, or we're just checking in with, no, by the way, I said that wrong. Take just out. Don't put just in there. Take just out of your vocabulary. I'm not just doing something. I am calling. I am calling to see how all of our clients are. Our boss wants us to call everyone and make sure that you're okay and to let you know that we're okay and we're here still in business. And we really want you to come back and bring us whatever you need. We're here to help. something like that. So you can set up the next time by doing it this way. All right? Okay. So now I want you to go back now a little bit into your head for a moment without being the words to say exactly, but instead to realize what is the purpose of the phone call? What is the purpose? Not the goal. The goal is not get more business. That's a goal. The purpose of the call. The purpose of the call is to remind your customers of your loyalty, to demonstrate that you care. That's a demonstration that you care. To remind them of your name. You know, I remember when I first started training, I made everybody brand the call at the end of Discover Card. When I wrote the script, I said, thank you for calling Discover today. Now, that was new back then. Now everybody pretty much does it, or if they don't do it, they should. They should always brand your name at the end of your phone call. And it's because people don't remember it. I know it's embarrassing for them, and it's too bad for you. It must mean maybe you didn't make the connection good enough. But it's really because the world is moving fast. Everything is so fast. I think one of the good things that's happened because of this virus right now is that things have slowed down. Slowed down. We're rushing, you know, and now we're slowing down. But one of the things that happens with the mind is that we forget things that are going by too quickly. So just say your name at the end of your business call. Thank you for calling McKee Consulting today. Thank you for calling Air Gas Safety today. Thank you for calling Harmony today. Thank you for calling Dresch Dental Services Group today. Thank you for calling us. In other words, you want to keep your business flowing for both you and for them. Build your business moving forward and back it up with the people that you know. That is the real purpose, so that it's ongoing. It's not just a one-time, one and done thing. So now the goal then, yes, you have a goal, but the goal is under the purpose. I mean, purposes are lofty. Goals are specific and measurable. So you want to set a goal, a soft target. And that would be sometimes like an item to-do list. I will contact 20 people today. So just remember, if your intention is clear, your words will be right. You would like to make the calls and be specific and measurable about the return on your investment. Now, you cannot define what loyalty really is. You can't do it. But there are people who are going to count the calls, how many you made. And here's what I always say. And of course, the people who keep all the metrics and keep all the statistics do not like me to do this. But I don't care that they don't like me to do it, because I don't dial for dollars. I don't want to send out, say, oh, if you send out 1 million spams, one will call you. You see, I would rather call 10 people and make one connection. But I think that all the calls should be measured by, did you get past the screener? Did you get to talk to the decision maker? Now you can start counting. In other words, if I call someone and I'm trying to get a referral or more business, I want to be able to talk to the person that makes that decision if possible. So I don't call or I don't track how many dials I made. Shoot, we used to have a big piece of paper where you had a tick sheet, you know, tick, 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 and you ticked off how many people you called. I don't care how many people you call. What a boring number to track. I want to know how many people you talk to. And I want to know how many people you got to talk to the decision maker, the one who does business with us. That's the measure. That's where you measure. And out of those, you should get a 17% return on your email. So you should get at least a 17% return. On Thursday, when we do the session on Thursday, I'll show you how to write emails. And voicemails, you should get about a 25% return. In other words, you get 25% more business when you have to leave a voicemail. Now, when you talk to someone, when you actually get to talk to that customer, I say we've got to bring them all back. So we want a big number like 80. You know, people say there's the 80-20 rule, get 20% of 80%. I don't know. It's very complicated. But I don't want the 20%. I want the 80. I want the 80%. And I want you to want the 80%. So if you talk to them in person, you're going to get huge results, much better than voicemail numbers or email numbers, because you actually spoke to the person. All right? All right, let's review what we learned today. And why do we have to review everything? Well, you know, because you may go back to your old ways. You may. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go back to your old ways. And of course, because I like to talk to you. I want to talk to you. And of course, I would love it to sell your company a training program for retention. We're masters at this. We really know how to do it. All right, so let's give a little quick review like this. All right, here's the review. 1, always give the customer the information the customer needs to make a decision. Do not hedge your bets. Tell the customer up front. Maybe you want to say to the decision maker or to the the person on the phone who answers and say, you know, my name is so-and-so with such and such a company. We've done business with your company for many, many years. And with the crisis in America right now, we wanted to reconnect with all of our clients. Would I be able to speak to Mrs. So-and-so? Or would you mind putting Jack on the phone? Or something like that. So you always LAMA, you acknowledge, you tell the truth, and you end on a question. If they say that person is not available right now, in your case, we're going to talk about the voicemails and the emails to leave. But I would tell that receptionist, thank you very much. Just tell them that I called and that I'll call back again later, okay? Always end on a question. Notice I said, okay. And what is your name? Oh, your name is Marianne. Okay, hi, Marianne. Yes, we're connecting with everybody. We want them to know we're still here doing business, and we want to be sure that they know that they can call on us if they have any needs at all. Okay? Or will you be able to give him that message? Yes, I will. Okay, great. Make personal calls to your past customers and clients. Personal calls. There was a great TV ad on, oh gosh, it's a long time now, maybe 10 years or so ago, where the CEO of the company walked into the meeting of all the salesmen, handed them all tickets, airplane tickets, and that's how old it was. It was when they had tickets. And he handed all of his salesmen tickets, and they were looking at this like what? Like what? And he said, you're going to visit your clients. Yes. It's like when I trained IBM on those 6 questions, they were setting up appointments all over the country for their business representative to go meet people and sell them an AS400 computer. I know those of you who know those computers, that probably dates me a lot, but it doesn't matter. The principle is the same. It was personal. It was real. There was no hidden agenda. There wasn't a secret in sight. They used to ask for 20 minutes. I asked for 2 hours, and I got it. Be intentional about what you expect to get from this. In other words, be lofty. Think big. Anything you resist will persist, so you might as well think big. Get a soft goal so you always know where you're going. In other words, I would not sit down and set up any goals without knowing where I'm going. I've got to know what is the game. But I would never get angry with anyone if they didn't meet the game. I would check to see what the results were, so that if they said they were going to contact 20 people and they contacted 18, I wouldn't say, oh, too bad you missed 2. No, I would say 18. That's fabulous. That's like 80%. This is great. So I would set a goal, but it would be a soft one. It would be an easy goal. It would be a kind way to communicate with both the people that I'm managing, as well as the people that I'm training or supervising or coaching. Or if it were just myself, I would set a soft goal for me. I would never be mad at me for whatever results I made. I would not use familiarity. It breeds contempt. So in other words, I wouldn't act like I know them. I wouldn't give them a tone of voice that sounds like some phony thing. People, I'll tell you, this is the truth. People will do anything at all, not to be conned. Really. If they ever do get conned, they will never tell anyone that they were conned. The worst thing in the world is when a person gets conned by a businessman or a woman. And that is why they dump you if they think you are insincere, when they think you are phony. And you're not phony, you really mean it. It's just that someone taught you to do this thing that other people recognize. It's not real. Be real. And the only way you can be real is if you stop to say to yourself, do I really care about these people coming back to work for me or with me? Do I really care? Or do I think I can just go out and get 1 million new clients? No, you can't. It's much harder to get new clients than it is to save the old ones. Really. But you have to be sincere. You can write a script for your agents and staff and yourself, and you can customize it and personalize it. Now you've seen some hints on this if you want to see them. If you want a copy of those slides, just write to me. I'll send you a copy of the slides. But we also have this recorded. So if you want to, you can watch the recording, or you can have your staff watch the recording. That's what I would do. If I were a trainer, I would have my group buy them all lunch, or oh, that's right, they can't all be in the same room at the same time. All right, then you could just let them see it at home. You could send them a link to the recording. All right, so what's coming up next is we're going to talk next time about how to treat our customers with love on the emails and the voicemails. So I'm going to give you some scripts on Thursday, some formula for how to write the scripts, how to write your calls out in the beginning. Not a whole script, but the emails and the voicemail and the openers. The opener's pretty much on this one. But if you're going to send your business, some of you are large call centers, you might send your business to a call center or an outsourcer. And if you do, you've got to be sure that that script is written correctly, because they really don't know your customer. They don't. All right, so tune in Thursday. And remember, the most important thing of all, always give the customer the information that the customer needs to make a decision. Why do you do that? Because it is less risky, it is polite, it is because you want them back. You don't ever want to be more clever or smarter than they are, not ever. Okay? All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. That was pretty good. I did that in 45 minutes. Thank you very much. If you need some help with your scripts or any information of any kind from us, we would love to train your people. We've got it online, my friends. We've got e-learning online, and we've got our training online as well. So call us up, because even if we can't come to you in person, we can sure come to you over the internet. Thank you very much, and I'll see you sharply at 10 o'clock Pacific time on Thursday, where we do the next piece in this course, which is about how to write the emails and how to write and speak the voicemails, so that anyone who's on the phone from your company can gather those rosebuds while ye may. In other words, find your customers, bring them back home, and let them know you love them. All right, that's it, everybody. I'm saying goodbye for now. This is Judy McKee. Bye-bye, and I'll see you on Thursday morning. Did you say I've got